Success in most games revolves around some kind of balance between in-game time investment and the rewards that come from it, and pure raw skill of the player. MMOs are no exception, but they certainly tend to lean more toward the time investment side, with heavy grinds and time gates preventing newbies from immediately rocketing their way to the top. So where does 11 sit on this scale? It's time. Time is way more important. Video over. No, but seriously, this is a fun discussion. I've been getting super obsessed with Formula 1 racing during quarantine. It was jumping into the F1 2019 iteration of the game, getting hyped for the unusually late first race of the season that's coming up this weekend. Footage shown here of me really not doing all that well. Point being, this is a game that swings almost entirely to the skill side of that spectrum. There's a career mode where you can improve the car and continue to adjust, but if you jump online, everyone has the same car, the same starting point, the same chance of victory. Outside of your personal ability to put this car around the track faster than the other guy, there is nothing giving you an edge. Rocket League's the same way, for those of you that caught our streams of that game a few weeks ago. Speaking of which, if you didn't know, we do stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come tune in and say hi. We do all sorts of goofy stuff, and honestly, we spend more time in 11 than any other game, so if that's your thing, definitely come hang out. But yeah, everyone's got the same cars, the same speed, it's just your raw talent shining through. Talent that Charles Leclerc, second-year Ferrari Formula 1 driver, clearly doesn't have in playing Rocket League. I mean, what is he doing getting blown up there? God, he sucks. Amateur. Just kidding, he's an amazing driver. I of course bring up the comparison because we spend most of our time in games, and I say we, as in us, the Hunt for Games community, where that time has a valuable return. MMOs reward players for generally just kind of keeping up in the right direction. If you keep doing the quests, running the dungeons, killing the enemies, even the easier ones, you'll eventually be a stronger player. This is one of the things I love most about MMOs, and Final Fantasy XI was the game that taught it to me. No matter how long it's been since I last played, when I get into the game, Chiroi is still there as strong as he was when I left. He has all the gear, all the skills, all the spells that I've earned over my many hours spent in Vana'diel. It's secure and it's comforting, and I don't know, maybe that's something to worry about, but I love that feeling that like that power gained is not lost. It's nice to know that the time that I invested wasn't a waste. At least if you think that, the virtual items and lightning bolts are worth it, but I do. So it's not wasted. It's stuff I can see, digitally touch, digitally feel. But Final Fantasy XI isn't without its own need of skill. Careful understanding of how the different abilities interact, how they might cancel each other out or, ruin the effectiveness, how long to wait after using an action physically before you can use another one, when you can cast Cure when an enemy's hitting you so that Cure gets off in between the strikes interrupting your spell casting. These kind of details, the intricacies of kiting, knowledge of weaknesses and strengths of the enemies and the weapons that you're using, skill chain combinations, their benefits. A fresh player handed a max level job won't deliver anywhere near the same level of performance as a veteran player. And in my opinion, the absolute best MMOs out there tread that line very carefully of skill versus time invested. What is more important for the game at hand all depends on the game and its design, but for 11, well, it's been a long-running debate. People have argued for years on which is ultimately more important. In the 75 era, I think most players would have said they'd prefer a skilled, poorly geared player to a well-geared, lazy one. At least that's what showed up on the forums most often. But I'm sure those players that would say that, and myself included, still kind of expected the players to have like a sort of decent set of gear, and a mildly adequate set of gear. Where you draw that line is an interesting question. But that was also at level 75. The final power curve at the end of the game was much more nuanced. A damage discrepancy between good, better, and best. A flattening curve over time. Investing millions and millions of gil and countless hours for relics would make you one of the strongest players in the game for sure, but you wouldn't totally annihilate some of the players that didn't have some of those advantages. At 119, it is a totally different story in my opinion. Skill is certainly still important, sure, but as you get closer and closer to that top end, you just obliterate the scale. I mean, fresh 119s get excited about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 damage weapon skills, while absolute top tier, maximum geared people are pushing damage caps, 99,999. That's insane. Maybe not with the weapon skill alone, but with the skill chain added on and then magic burst. I mean, I've seen countless 99999 skill chains. That's crazy. Monkhouse, Epic, and Hayden are wrecking ball, a force of nature, obliterating everything before them. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments. This has been the biggest adjustment for me at the endgame 119 space, is that huge curve of strength that is possible to achieve. So if I could give an actual answer on where 11 is on the scale of skill versus time, skill really versus gear, spells, your overall character growth, I think time investment is becoming more and more important as the years go on. With the classic 75 days, still leaning in that direction, sure. I mean, the leveling process was insane. Don't get me wrong. It took me years to hit 75 on multiple characters, and not multiple characters, but multiple jobs. But once you were there, I felt like skill was far more important than your overall gear. So I don't know. I don't know if that counts. Or maybe not. Maybe the time investment versus skill has stayed the same over the years, but for some reason I didn't count those years and years of leveling in parties to get to 75, and I'm only looking at the small amount of time investment once I was 75 to do merit parties and such. Let me know your thoughts on that. I might be a little out of touch. Anyways, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent is up to you, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, let me know how other games have this balance, and which games do it really well. I do find that I tend to get frustrated over time with games that don't balance well on either side, either hitting a point where I realize I just have to get better and I may never do that, Rocket League, or hitting a point where I realize I may never be any better and I just have to grind away for more skills, job points, gear, what have you. Both can be kind of bleh feelings. You're just sort of like, there's only one way to improve, and I don't really know if I want to do it, or even can. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. Stay safe out there. Definitely tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Twitch while we stream some Final Fantasy XI and other games. And otherwise, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.
Max lot.
Oh my god, what?
He took it to the max.
He's like, I will have this papyrus. I will have it. That is crazy.